We are so lucky to have David Junga back with us. He was so popular with his past presentation to us, I think maybe 6 months ago or longer. And we are here to hear him again. David Junga is a board certified respiratory therapist with over 20 years experience helping patients overcome shortness of breath and get their lives back. He's a postural alignment specialist. This makes him uniquely qualified to help with both breathing and chronic pain problems. He says the connection between your breathing and your posture is quite amazing. So since I have a bad back and I'm my husband's caregiver, I decided to take some lessons from him, and it is quite amazing. My back's quit hurting. I also learned a secret about David. He was a singer and guitar player in a rock band back in the Led Zeppelin Aerosmith days. Oh, David, weren't those the great days? So I'll turn the program over to him now, and thank you for joining us again today.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? Happy Saturday. That's pretty funny. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Great.
Thank you.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah, those were, a lot of people don't believe it. Next time we do a meeting, maybe I'll try to dig up some old pictures and I'll show you what I look like with really long hair and earrings and singing on stage. It was crazy. So I went from being a rebel to devoting my entire adult life to being a healer, which I just absolutely am so blessed and grateful that I have the opportunity. And I'm so thankful for everybody today to take the time out of your busy schedules and spend your Saturday morning with us. And I'm looking forward to answering questions and to teach everybody some exercises that you can easily do, because especially going into cold and flu season, you also want to naturally help boost your immune system with rest, exercise, and nutrition. And exercise is a big component. And a lot of people, with the gyms being still closed, are concerned that they really can't get out there. So I want to give you a lot of exercises that you can do at home. So first, I'd like to thank Bill for inviting me back. I always love doing this. Bill and I have an awesome relationship. I admire him so much. He helps me with so many things, just more than he could even realize. So Bill, I have to thank you. Shelly, thank you for coordinating this and doing this, and for the lovely intro and having she's such an amazing person with her attitude. It's contagious. I love it. It's so good. So I'm fortunate to be here with all of you, and I really am grateful. So the first thing I see over there is Jimi Hendrix. I'm a big fan of your music, sir. This is good. I like it. And we're good. So how is everybody today? Are we ready to do some stuff? Excellent. Okay. First, I should probably, for those of you who don't know me, my name is David Junga. It's spelled J-U-N-G-A, but the J is like a Y, so it's Junga. I am a board certified respiratory therapist, but I'm also a postural alignment specialist. And like Shelly had said before, the connection is unbelievable between your posture and your breathing. And since a lot of us are spending more time on the computer and we're having rounded shoulders and we're compressing our chest wall, it really increases the work to breathe. So some of the exercises we're going to do today are to get the shoulder girdle back and to open and expand your chest. How I started in pulmonary rehab was I used to work in hospitals, and I also would moonlight at nursing homes, and the pace is much slower at a nursing home than a level 1 trauma center. So while I was working in the nursing homes, I saw these people that were having pulmonary issues and no one was really doing anything with them, because the old school of thought was that if you had breathing issues that you wanted to rest, you wanted to take it easy, you didn't want to overtax yourself. And I always kept thinking, I feel so much better when I get up and I move and I go for a walk. So being naive, I went to everybody and said, hey, let's try to do some walking. And everyone said no. So I went next door to the donut shop and I got a dozen donuts, and I said, whoever will walk with me, I'll give you a donut. And so people said, sure, give me the donut. I said, no, nice try. You have to walk first. And one person said, I can only walk 2 feet. I said, that's all you need to do. You do 2 feet, you get a donut. And that's how me getting involved with really focusing on pulmonary rehab as a specialty began. And I started going into work and people would be lining up at the door saying, "Hey, you the guy with the donuts? We want to walk and exercise with you today." So that's what I did for quite a few years. And then I went into private practice, and I've been in private practice now for over 20 years, and I absolutely love it. I personally have asthma, so I have a personal connection with patients with pulmonary issues and shortness of breath. So that's where I am. Does anybody have any questions before we start? Because the next part I kind of want to go into, what is pulmonary rehab? Any questions, Bill, from anybody?
I'm sorry, I was muted, scrambling frantically trying to answer you. We're going to hold meetings, David, just to have a semblance of order to the end of the meeting.
Okay.
Unless you want me to open it up for dialogue before that, which I'm happy to do. This is really your meeting. But
Yeah, no, we can wait. That's fine. Would it be possible to share my screen? Let me see. Can I? Yes, I can. Good. Okay. All right. I'm going to, I think in order to kind of discuss what pulmonary rehab is, we have to discuss a couple of things about just the shortness of breath cycle that a lot of people have. So I'm going to, let me see if I can share this here. Can you see that?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
Okay. Wonderful. Okay. So this is a situation where, in order to understand why pulmonary rehab exists, it's to stop this cycle. You have pulmonary related shortness of breath that leads you to become more sedentary and you don't move around as much. And from just not doing the things that you used to love to do, that can lead to some anxiety and depression. And then when that kicks in, you say, why bother? Every time I go to do this, I'm more and more winded, and there becomes more sedentary and more lack of movement. And that lack of movement leads to a lot of muscle weakness. And then when you call on weakened muscles, it creates more shortness of breath. So this cycle exists quite frequently and quite commonly. And so pulmonary rehab, the purpose of this is to break this cycle. So now, if I can bring this one up, this is the current, let's see if you could see this here. Yes, this is the current treatment model that's so outdated and it needs to be fixed. For a lot of pulmonary patients, it starts with decreased activity level, which is down here in the bottom. And it leads to anxiety and depression, like we talked about, decreased quality of life. And the first treatment is meds. And then when the meds aren't really giving the therapeutic dosage or required efficacy that they want, then they'll increase the meds. So you'll be on normal pulmonary medications, then it'll increase to the prednisones and then oxygen. And then as your muscles get weaker, you need more of that. And then that lack of exercise creates this whole downward spiral down at the bottom here with weakened muscles, weakened immune system, pulmonary infections, hospitalizations, nursing homes back home, and then that lack of exercise. And really one of the biggest things to change this is exercise and activity levels. So now the top is the proposed treatment model that we've been trying to push for many, many years, which is use the prescribed meds and the oxygen, but the plan is to not have to keep increasing the dosages. If anything, maybe even lower it, but then using proper breathing techniques, upper and lower body strengthening, walking, exercising, and stair climbing, combined with education and nutrition, that is going to get everybody to start slowly going up like this. And now, one of the things I get asked all the time is, people will have a bad day. And it's normal because no one's recovery and getting better ever is linear. You don't have good days every single day. Even if you didn't have a pulmonary problem, you're not going to have good days every day. You're going to have good days, bad days, good days, bad days. But the trend is going to be upwards instead of the bottom trend, which is much lower. So that is, let's see if I can do this. Okay. So that's where we are. And that's where my focus is on pulmonary rehab, is to empower each patient to take control and get their lives back through monitoring of your numbers with your pulse oxes. This is critical. This is very, very important. Most people will tell me at the beginning when I meet them that they will wait until they're short of breath to stop their activity. And I really want you to really focus on your pulse ox, not obsess. Really, that's important. Not obsess over it, but look at it and take an average of your daily activities. When you're walking around, what are your numbers? And when you're looking at a pulse ox, there's going to be two numbers. There's going to be the top one usually is the oxygen saturation. The bottom one is your pulse or your heart rate. So you want to know what both of those are, because even if we want your blood oxygen level to be 92% or higher. That's preferable. But then you also have to ask yourself, how hard is your heart working to maintain 92? So we want to look at both of those and kind of slow your pace down for your activities to make sure that that's happening. But don't avoid using the pulse ox and use shortness of breath of it as a gauge, because it's never really accurate. It's like having chronic pain. You know, you wake up every day, you have a backache. If you transferred that pain to somebody else, most likely they couldn't take it, but you're used to it. And the problem is, as your oxygen levels start to go down, especially with PF, it's been my experience that one of the things that really damages the remaining healthy lung tissue that you have is lack of oxygen. So we want to avoid that at all costs. So use your pulse ox, use the oxygen that your doctor prescribed. Talk to your doctor about your oxygen usage, about bumping it up if you need to during exercise, where the numbers that they would like you. Some doctors will say they're fine if you're averaging 94, 95%. No one really is ever 100, so you don't have to worry about that. That's not realistic. But you want to know what your operating range is when you're walking around. You want to know what it is when you're climbing stairs. You also want to know maybe what it is when you get out of the shower. And in the shower, you know, you may want to be wearing your oxygen in the shower if it starts dropping too low. So really just kind of keep a journal and get an average of what it is, because that alone will have a huge impact on affecting PF specifically, but all pulmonary conditions. Okay. All right. Now, so what is pulmonary rehab? Pulmonary rehab, again, this is my interpretation, is a mind, body, spirit model to improve your health, improve your breathing, and get stronger, and really be able to take control of your life. Because, you know, if you're prescribed medications, you can take more of the medication. It's not going to have an improved effect. If anything, it'll get you sick. But with exercise and movement within reason, if you're diligent and really focused on doing your exercises, you can really maintain and improve your lifestyle. And it doesn't have to be, when I show you these exercises, like Bill said earlier, all you need is a chair with no arms. You need a towel roll. You just have to take a towel, roll it out lengthwise, fold it in half again, roll it up tight, put a rubber band upon. If you don't have it, get a partially deflated football. I mean, all this stuff I'm going to show you is stuff that you have around the house, and it's really, really going to be simple, and it's going to help you. So also part of the pulmonary rehab is breathing, which I'm going to go over a way that I created to breathe over 20 something years ago that has really helped. Exercise, monitoring, because you really want to, again, you want to know what your numbers are during different exercises. And one of the things I get initially with patients is that if their numbers start to drop, they get upset and they get sad. It's actually the opposite. To me, that's awesome, because that gives us almost a detective viewpoint to say, hey, these are the muscle groups that we can focus on and strengthen. And as they get stronger, then you can watch the improvement quantitatively, watch your numbers rise, watch your heart rate come down doing the same exercises. So it's really, really good for that. And a lot of it too is self-paced. You wake up in the morning, a lot of times what I try to do is find out when people have the most energy. Some people are morning people. They like to get up, they like to do exercise in the morning. Some people after lunch, they're wiped. They can't do it, so they have to do it in the morning. Some people they want to sleep in, their body requires more rest. They can exercise in the evening. So whenever you feel is your most energetic time of day, that's when you're going to optimize. And listen to your body. If you wake up and you realize, you know what, I'm wiped out today, I can't do much, that's fine. Then you can just sit, relax, but do some seated exercises focused on your breathing. Okay. Bill, just in case anybody has any questions now, because that was a lot of information, I could answer a couple questions now, and then we can kind of go into the next part is going to be how can pulmonary rehab help, and specifically the oxygen and the carbon dioxide relationship. And I'm going to work on that. So
David, if I can, we've had several questions. One of the questions and comments that came in is people were not seeing your slide screen. You were perhaps showing a window and not the actual PowerPoint program. But when you do the next slides, if you do slides, when you do, let me kind of help coach you on the sidelines so it's showing.
wonderful. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay.
Mary Burns had a question. She had her hand raised, but I don't see the hand raised now. So Mary, if you have a question, please unmute your microphone, and David's here.
Did everybody see the initial shortness of breath cycle? Was that one okay?
Everyone did not see the original slide you presented, and they thought you went to a second slide and nobody saw that.
Okay. All right. So let me do
We can
this.
address that when we go back to questions and answers, David.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes. Hello. Good morning.
Will this be on Facebook so my husband can watch this later?
It will be in our website at pfwarriors.com for members. If you're a signed up member,
We are.
Good. You'll have access to this video. Plus, we have close to 200 others that are there for your pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay. So if there are no more questions, I'm going to go into the oxygen and the carbon dioxide relationship, which is really critical because the two things that cause pulmonary related shortness of breath is low oxygen and high carbon dioxide. And that's really important because a lot of people will say, I don't understand. I'm wearing oxygen and I'm still short of breath. And that's because of the carbon dioxide component. So if you think of your body as a car, it needs two things. It needs fuel. And in our bodies, the fuel is oxygen. And the car also has to get rid of the exhaust. And you could have a full tank of gas. And if you plug up the tailpipe in a car with a banana, that car's not going to run. It's the same thing with our bodies. We have to get rid of that carbon dioxide through exhaling. And so I'm going to teach you a new way to breathe that will kind of help with that. What it's called is flow controlled breathing. And this is something that I created, like I said, over 20 something years ago, because the old methodology, when they used to talk about pursed lip breathing, they would say, smell the roses and blow out the candles. But for a lot of pulmonary patients, blowing out forcefully to a quick burst like that, with PF patients, a lot of times a forced exhalation like that will cause coughing. And for a lot of other pulmonary conditions, they just don't feel well with that because they get lightheaded. So one of the things we're going to do is teach the flow controlled breathing, which has three parts to it. The first part is the inhalation. I want everybody to try, if you can, try this right now. You're going to breathe in only through your nose because your nose will warm, filter, and humidify the air. And your lungs don't like dry, cold air. The other thing is you don't want to take a deep breath in because, again, with PF specifically, a deep breath could precipitate a cough. And then once the coughing starts, it's hard to stop that. So what you want to do is in only through your nose, just a couple of seconds, hold just for a half a second, and then with your lips, empty. So visually, you want to not blow out. So we're not looking, this is blowing out the candles. We don't want that. We want in, hold, and a continuous stream of soft, smooth. And the smoother it is, the more efficient it is of getting the oxygen in and getting the carbon dioxide out. So that's very, very important. Now the hold is also important. So it's in, hold, and then with your lips, like you're cooling off a hot cup of coffee, or even better, you have a spoon of really, really hot soup. And you want to cool it off, but you don't want to knock it all off the spoon. So it's with your lips. And that creates just enough back pressure to allow the air to escape and get really smooth laminar flow of air out and then back in again. Now the hold is important because when you're breathing in, you want to breathe in and then you want to hold and you want to go out. The problem is if you breathe in like this and you don't hold, this part of the air starts going back as this is still coming in. And those two opposing airflows will trap in your lungs and lead to a lot of shortness.
David, this is Bill Vick. As a quick question, my friend Kurt Campbell, who's on this call, and I will be doing a short review next week about the Apple Watch. I just got an Apple Watch, and one of the things it has on it, along with taking your pulse, which I question, but it has a breathing application, and it does exactly what you're talking about. It doesn't call it flow breathing, but it should. And so what I do now is every hour in the hour, I automatically get an alert to breathe. And I have a little icon that breathes in and breathes out, and I follow it. And I'm doing flow breathing ever since I learned that from you.
Wow. Awesome. All right. All right. Kudos to Apple for bringing technology to help people. I love this. This is awesome. Okay. So any questions about the flow controlled breathing from anybody? How about this? I'll tell you the questions I normally get. One, do I have to do this all the time? That's a big one. Another one is, how often do I do it? When do I do it? And how hard should I do it? So the first question, when should I do it? You should do it whenever you're in motion. If you're moving and you're not breathing like that, you're in essence holding your breath. So if you tried to hold your breath and go walk, you wouldn't get very far. And that's usually the case. So we want to optimize the oxygen coming in and get rid of the carbon dioxide. The other thing is how hard you breathe. The force of the air in and out should be equal to how much work you're doing. So if you're just sitting, it would be very smooth, very soft. In and blow. I'll use the tissue again so you could get a visualization. So in and blow. Which, by the way, as a side note, breathing like this is a natural sedative. If you are upset, if you are anxious, if you have to go for a test, go for an MRI, go for your 6-minute walk test, which many people have to do when you're stressed, breathe like this. It will calm everything down. So now you start to do some exercise and you feel, wow, I'm actually working a little harder. You may have to breathe a little harder in through the nose, pause. Now you go to climb stairs. You're going to have to maybe even breathe in through your mouth if it's really that difficult to climb stairs. In, hold, and blow. Like that. A little side note, this is a little tidbit for everybody. In the event that you go to climb stairs, I want you to stop at the bottom of the stairs. I want you to do a couple of these flow controlled breaths. And I only want you going up the stairs when you're blowing out. As soon as you stop blowing out, stop climbing. Another couple breaths in, blow out and climb. You're going to notice a huge difference in your ability to climb stairs if you only go up on the exhale. Really, really, really important. Because the other thing is too, people say, oh, that's going to take forever. Well, what's the difference if you take your time and go up, or you rush and then you get to the top and for 5 minutes you're going, you've strained your body, you've strained your heart, you've strained your lungs. You don't want that. Take the time, enjoy it, do the breathing going up. Okay, so one of the other questions about pulmonary rehab is who can do it? Everybody. Everybody. If you can move, you can do it. You have no excuses of why you can't have fun and get stronger and breathe better and live longer. It's really, really important. So what type of equipment do you need? First and foremost, you need your pulse oxes. One of the wonderful things that came out of COVID was people paying attention to oxygen levels, people buying pulse oximeters and using them. Hopefully they're using them appropriately. The other thing is we want, and I have set up, I'll bring this over here. I have a chair with no arms for us, so we'll have that. We need our towel roll. We need a couple of dumbbells if you have them. If not, soup cans, water bottles, anything, whatever you have. Little side note for dumbbells. When you're using dumbbells and you're done with them and you put them on a flat surface, crisscross them like this. If you leave them like this, sometimes they can roll off. You're going to end up with a broken toe. I don't want to see that after all your progress. So crisscross them and they won't roll. So that's a little safety tidbit. Okay. For me, I look, especially being also a posture therapist, I like to what I call restack your load bearing joints, which is your ankles, your knees, your hips, and your shoulders. So in order to do that, we use the wall and we use the floor. A lot of patients, I don't know how many patients that I currently have right now that are here, but I have them doing wall push-ups. I have them up against the wall with their back. We're going to do another exercise that you're going to really feel later, and a lot of floor exercises. One of our recent patients just had a lung transplant, and before she went in, I had her doing planks. I had her doing push-ups. I had her doing really strenuous exercises, and her recovery so far post-op has been half of what they were thinking. They were thinking 6 weeks, she might be home in 3 to 4. So it's amazing what exercise will do. All right, before we start the exercises, any questions?
I have one.
Yes.
It's on breathing. When you're exhaling, how far exhaling do you go? I mean, it's like when you take a PFT, they, out, out, out. But I don't, I mean, how do you know?
Excellent question, Linda. Excellent question. Okay. Basically, it's by listening, because here's the thing, every single person is going to be different. If we broke it down into seconds, time seconds, how many seconds in and how many seconds out, every person is different. So what I want you to do is just blow out gently enough that you don't feel like you're blowing out too much, because then you're going to feel winded. So it's just a comfortable in and a comfortable out. And then in and out. Not feeling like you're having to do that. And you'll feel there's going to be a point where you start to do this, you're going to feel comfortable. Anybody else? Wait, Linda, does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, good, good. Yes, Karen. Hold on one sec. I can't hear you.
How do you breathe when you're wearing a mask?
Same way. You're talking about a COVID mask?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to breathe like that temporarily. What I normally do is, depending on if I can get away with it when there's not many people around, I will take the bottom of the mask and I'll pull it out a little bit. So as I'm blowing out, I'm getting rid of that carbon dioxide.
Okay.
It's COVID has created so many challenges for everybody with a pulmonary issue. That's one of them. Is, my concern with that is rebreathing a lot of carbon dioxide. But again, if you can pull the bottom of the mask out, and as you're blowing, you're getting rid of it that way, and then you're breathing it back.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Bill, any other questions?
No, I had to go a long way to get that mic turned off, but no.
That's okay. All right, we're good. All right, so let's start, and we're going to talk about some exercises. So proper posture is really critical when you're doing exercises. We want to think of, again, 90-degree angles, and we want everything kind of to be symmetrical, because then you're putting an even amount of work into your body. And so we want to get the muscles to work evenly. So proper breathing, proper posture, pacing yourself, frequent rests, pulse ox, and very importantly, water. Really stay hydrated. It's important. For those of you on water pills, I'm not concerned, because I know you're getting your steps in throughout the day because you're drinking water and running to the bathroom 20 times a day. So you are getting your steps in. So that's good. Keep staying hydrated. It's important. So let's start with some exercises. The very first one, because like I said before, with your shoulders being in a situation where they're rounded and you're compressing your chest, it makes it much harder to breathe. It's like someone's really holding you. So we want to open everything. So your shoulder girdle, which is the clavicle right across here, and the head of this bone, the humerus, and your scapula, that wing, makes up the shoulder girdle. So we want to get those back. And a lot of times people have rounded shoulders. They'll have rounding in the back. They call this kyphosis, and they'll be rounding like that. And we want to get everything back like this. And you'll feel a big difference. At first, it's going to be a little sore. So bear with me, but don't overdo it. Just do it. Really listen to your body in terms of your range of motion and what feels comfortable. So the first one, you're going to always put your hands up, because if you roll your hands over, watch this right here. So if you roll your hands over, you roll this and it brings everything forward. We want it back like this. So if you're going to sit and do some seated exercises, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to see if I can move back enough that you can see me. And I'm going to switch this for a chair with no arms. So hold on one second. Okay. Can you see me okay? Excellent. Okay. So we're going to take our hands. We're going to put them right on our thighs. Now I'm going to go all the way back so you can see me for a second, because I want you to look at the proper posture when you're sitting. It's very important. Okay. So what I want you to do is square up your feet. They should be about a fist width apart, and your feet and your knees should be equal. We don't want your legs out like this. We want them in like this, palms up. And then from the side view, we want to always have your ankles right below your knees. Rolling your hips forward towards the front of the seat. And then what we're going to do is we're going to work on some shoulder rolls. And we're going to roll up and back and down and forward. And we're going to keep rolling them. And this is down. Now again, proper breathing is that you're going to be breathing in and blowing out. And start off really slowly, really gently. Just think of this motion as oil for your joints, and you're just slowly working that oil into your joints. And you'll notice you're going to hear some cracking. It's normal. And we're going to slowly go like this. Now the key is to not move your chest forward or back or up or down. Just keep this whole relaxed and just focused on these joints here. And after we've done a few of these, then we're going to stop and we're going to go the opposite direction. So we're going to go up and forward and down and back. Nice and slowly, doing the breathing in through the nose, blowing. Excellent. Nice and easy. Okay. The next one are shoulder squeezes. So again, the palms are still up on your thighs, and we're going to slowly, and it's a very small movement, we're going to diagonally take our shoulders and we're going to go backwards, but down and together in the back. So it's going to go down and release. So I'm going to go to the side so you could see this. From here, it's going to go down and back and down and back. And you'll really feel that scapula, that wing behind you coming together and gliding. And that has a tremendous impact on loosening up everything here and in your upper back. And one of the things I hear from a lot of PF patients specifically, but a lot of pulmonary patients, is that they get a lot of neck and upper back pain. So these are exercises that when I spoke to Bill about doing this talk, we were trying to come up with some stuff that we can also address that for you as well. The next one, now that we've loosened everything, we're going to do some pectoral presses. So again, your feet are going to be square. You're going to bring your arms up to here. If you have any rotator cuff issues or anything, don't bring it down too much. All right, go easy. We don't want to see Patty get hurt. Okay, so we want to ideally, if you can do this, we want your elbows to be at the same height as your shoulder joint right here, not down like this. We want it really up here. And then you're going to gently blow and come together. And then breathe in and come back and open up your chest. And try to get the elbows up and blow. Now, if you're going like this and your wrists are touching, but not the elbows, open the wrists and only go to where your elbows can touch. And then breathe in and come back. Slowly, and really keep the arms up here. and then breathe in and come back. So you always want to blow when you're coming together on this exercise. And come back. Excellent. How's that feel? Can you feel it opening up everything?
Makes me cough.
Yes, exactly. And that's normal. But what I want you to do is try not to breathe so hard. Try to breathe a little softer if you can. Okay? Any questions? No? Okay. Next one. Let's see. The next one is going to be, I'm going to show you from the front view, and then I'm going to show you from the side view. So this one is an overhead extension. So what you're going to do is, you're going to sit like this, your feet will be square. You're going to interlace your fingers. You're going to push them away from you. You're going to roll your hips forward off the front of the chair and keep it forward, keeping the same distance here. And then you're slowly going to come up, slowly. Once you get to the top, you're going to tilt your head back and you're going to press up to the ceiling. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see this as well. So from here, ankles right below the knees, hands out like this, all the way up. Tilt your head back, press to the ceiling. Let your whole body just relax and fall into the seat and breathe in through the nose. Pause and blow out. And this takes a lot of that rounding and opens up everything in your chest. Okay. So those are some of the upper body exercises that we're working on to help open up the chest and get rid of some of the neck and the back. Now we're going to work on a little bit of an alternate between lower body and upper body. We're going to combine the two. How are we doing on time, Bill? We have time for these?
One of the interesting things, to make a comment if I can, David, we had a presentation a few weeks ago by Brian Zarkos about Qigong. And the Qigong that Patty and I do every morning, this movement is part of what's called Ba Da Jin, which is a basic Qigong exercise movement. And we looked at each other and kind of smiled. So we've been doing that for the last 3 years, not knowing it.
Beautiful. Oh, that made my day. Thank you. I'm glad. Excellent. Any questions before we move on to the next one? Okay, good. I mean, again, we need a chair with no arms. That's all you needed for these. That's it. You need your pulse socks. In between each one, I would recommend you check your numbers. See how it is. Make sure that you're okay. Assess your breathing. How do I feel? Am I winded? If I am, stop. Do the breathing that I taught you. It will recover. When it comes back, then continue. Pacing yourself is critical. Okay, next one. Now we're going to grab our towel rolls. Okay, I'm going to slide back. And Bill, when I slide back, am I too far from the microphone? Can you still hear me when I go back?
It's not crystal clear, but it's hearable. Yes. If it doesn't, if David, if we can't hear you, I'll enable my mic and give you a shout out.
Good. I'm going to put my AirPods in, so if I back up, you should still be able to hear me.
Good.
Let me do this. Give me 1 second.
Show us how to do it.
And could you show us how to fold that towel one more time, David? We're towel.
Absolutely. Hold on 1 second. Okay.
Towel challenge.
Can you hear me okay with the AirPods now?
Yes.
Can you hear me okay with the AirPods? Yes.
Perfect.
Okay. So here's the towel roll. So you're going to take a regular towel. We're going to fold it in half.
No, you fold.
I'm
Okay, fold it in half.
I'm
No,
okay.
you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay. And then we're going to fold it in half again. And then we're going to start slowly rolling it nice and tight.
We just don't have a rubber band. Should I get a rubber band?
Yours looks a lot better than mine.
I know, she did.
And then here we go. And then we're going to take our rubber band. We're going to put it around it. And there we go. Okay. And we have a towel roll. And me just get my list of exercises up so I can see from back there, and we should be good. Good. Okay.
While you're setting up, a question that came in, and Gary Williams asked this before, and I didn't see it. And it's a quick comment, I think. His question is what kind of pulse ox he feels that the brand he has is not reliable. And as you know, there's more pulse oxes than there is, dogs in a race. What kind of pulse ox do you recommend, or what type of pulse ox do you recommend?
Okay, let me go back to my computer and I will actually show you. I personally have only used pretty much one or two brands my whole career. This one is a Nonin, and this one is a Nonin. So I use them both. The problem is cost-wise, these are much more expensive than the ones that you're going to get at Walgreens and CVS. This is a couple $100 because this is the medical grade one. The personal one here is probably $99. With pulse oximeters, I don't know how it is now because there's so many manufacturers that have jumped on the bandwagon, but with pulse oxes, you get what you pay for. And if you can afford to spend a little bit more money on a more reliable brand, it's better off, because the problem is the accuracy really diminishes on the cheaper pulse oxes. And normally they read anywhere from 2 to 5 points higher than what the patient really is. So whenever we have patients, I used to always make sure that we calibrated them to ours, because I have a hospital grade one that's a couple $1,000, and we would calibrate it to that. And you'd put it on and our pulse ox would read 90 and theirs would say 95. And that's a big difference, because now they start going down to 92 and they're really, getting down into the 80s. So we don't want that. We always want your oxygen 92 or higher if you can help it. Okay. Again, because of the manufacturing for a lot of pulse oxes in China, and a lot of the supply chain is not back up and running, they really have limited supplies. So try to use, if you can, I know that like I said, Nonin is a good brand. Respironics is another good brand. Puritan Bennett is another good brand. I don't know, like you said, Bill, about the Apple Watch. I don't know the accuracy of that. It's not been tested yet. I wouldn't trust it for medical grade things.
According to Kirk Campbell, who's done a lot of research on it, we're going to talk about it next week. Mm-hmm. But it's marginal at best. I still use it for other things, but I have a Nonin, as you have. It's a Bluetooth enabled Nonin. I think it was $160, give or take. Mm-hmm. I'll be giving that away, by the way. I've got one I can give away free in about 2 weeks in a contest we'll be sponsoring. So if you like a brand new high-end Nonin, make sure you join PF Warriors and be a member by going to pfwarriors.com. Oh, yeah. Let me tell you, everybody, whoever's not a member should absolutely go do it. That's a huge value. That's very generous, because that is one of the best ones that's out there. So that's good. Awesome. Okay. Let's get your towel rolls. Everybody all set with their towel rolls? We're good? Okay. And Bill, you can hear me now? It's okay with the AirPods? You're perfect. All right, wonderful. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do, you're gonna take your towel roll. And again, notice my feet are square. Most people, if you look down at your feet, they're gonna be like this. We don't want that. We want your feet to come in. If anything, a hair pigeon-toed. We want your feet and your knees about a fist width apart. What you're going to do is you're going to put the towel roll, you're going to sit on the edge of the seat, you're going to roll your hips forward and keep them rolled forward throughout the whole exercise. We're going to put the towel roll here. You're either going to have your arms down at your side or palms up, and you're going to squeeze with your knees. Squeeze in, in, in. Notice I'm not opening. I'm just squeezing in. And we want to try to squeeze about 20 times, because we want to tire out the thighs so we can get into the hip flexors, which are in here at the bottom of your front pockets. And those really affect the tilt of your pelvis, and they'll really help reduce. If you have low back pain, this is a tremendous exercise to relieve low back pain, as long as your hips are rolled forward. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what I mean. So if you're here
And again, right now, my ankles are directly below my knees. Towel roll is there. Right here, we want to make sure is forward throughout the whole exercise. So we're going to squeeze 20 times, slow and easy. Now, after we've done 20, now we're going to do some upper body engagement with this. Hips rolled forward. This is in here. Feet nice and square. You're going to take your hands. You're going to close the tips of your fingers and leave all this part of your palm open. This is called the modified golfer's grip. You're going to put your hands at your side. You're going to squeeze your shoulders back and keep them pinched back. Slowly come up to shoulder height with your thumbs facing forward. And now what you're going to do is we're going to do 20 circles the size of dinner plates going forward, keeping the shoulders pinched and keeping that towel from falling. And you're breathing in and you're blowing and in and blowing. And then we stop. Now's a good time. Check your numbers. Make sure your numbers are 92 or higher. If they're not, stop, catch your breath. Do some of the breathing. Just because the exercise stopped does not mean that you stop doing this breathing. For 2 to 4, 6 breaths after, I want you to still, palms up and blow. It's like when you're climbing stairs, you're not that winded going up as you are when you finally get to the top. That's when the shortness of breath hits you. It's the same thing with these exercises. You're not going to be that winded when you're doing them. As soon as you take a break, then you're going to, we don't want that. So in, pause, and blow.
Quick question.
Now,
Can I
yes,
ask a quick question? What
of
about
course.
when should you rest at what pulse rate?
It depends on, again, everybody's different. This is why you want to talk to your doctor and find out what your baseline is. What was your heart rate when you started? At rest.
78.
And what is it when you exercise?
120. Well,
That's a
anywhere
big,
100 to 120. Yeah, my
that's
pulse
a,
goes faster than my than my oxygen goes down.
right. And that's normal. That, again, though, you want to find out from your doctor where he would like you to be. He'll tell you what he or she will tell you your maximum heart rate.
Okay.
But with exercise, that will come down. So it's good. Okay, we're going to do 20 more squeezes. Palms on your thighs. Put the towel roll between. And we really want to start squeezing. Now you're going to go slower, but deeper. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Don't worry, you're not going to break the pillow. Nice and easy, or the towel. Doing the breathing. Slow and easy. Hold on 1 second. There we go. Okay. I don't know why, but Siri decided she wanted to jump in and help. Okay. So now that we've done that, you should start to feel some engagement here in the quads and the thighs. Hips are rolled forward. We're going to do this modified golfer's grip again. Hands down at your side. Pinch the shoulders back. Nice and slow. Come up to shoulder height. And now you're going to roll your arms backwards so the thumbs are facing behind you, keeping the shoulders pinched. Hips rolled forward. We're going to do dinner plate size circles, 20 of them going backwards this time. Ready? 3, 2, 1, here we go. 20. We stop, palms up, do your breathing again, and blow. And in, and blow. Okay. Is everybody okay so far? Any issues? Okay, the next one, I'm going to get my timer. We're We're going to need this. For those of you that are working with me or have worked with me, this is one that everybody always has a love-hate relationship with. So what we're going to do is you're going to sit forward on the edge of the seat. You are going to cross one ankle over one knee. But notice how I have a straight line between here, the inside of my shoulder, the left side of my hip, down to my knee, down to the floor. We don't want this. We don't want this. We want nice and straight, rolling the hips forward. Now what you're going to do is that I'm going to set the timer for 1 minute. Using just the power of your hip down here, we want this knee to go down to the floor. So in 3, 2, 1, go press down. And you're going to feel a lot of pulling on the lateral outside part of your hip. Slow and easy. Hands could be down, rolling the hips forward, keeping the hips rolled forward because that'll give you the proper engagement. Because a lot of times we do a lot of these exercises to tighten and contract the muscles. This is a good one for stretching and breathing in through the nose and pause and then out, nice and easy. This is going down. Do not use your hands.
Mm.
15 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. Okay, slowly come down. Everybody feel that one?
Yeah.
It's an awesome one. Okay, feet are squared. We're going to do the other leg now. Relaxed. You're going to put one ankle over one knee. You're going to make sure that, notice my feet are here. See, they're not out like this or this. They're straight. I don't have the knee this way or out to the side. Nice straight vertical lines this way. Everyone usually has one leg that's harder to do than the other, much tighter. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll the hips forward in 3, 2, 1, go. And you're going to use the power under here in your hip. Do not use your hands ever to press. Arms down, coming down. Breathing in and blow. And in and blow. Nice and slow and easy. Feeling the stretch. Let your body just relax. Roll the hips forward. Let your neck and shoulders relax. Let the focal point be the stretching down here. No tightness anywhere else in your body. In through the nose and breathe. 15 seconds left. You got this. Slow and easy. And blow. 3, 2, 1, and stop. Good. Come down nice and easy. Couple of breaths. In through the nose. Pause, and then out. Good. How's everybody doing so far?
Hey, David, I have to comment. As you know, we've talked about it. I have lumbar stenosis, meaning the channel of my spine gets smaller over time and get a lot of pain. I cannot believe the relief that simple exercise gave me.
Excellent. Excellent. This makes my day. I love to help people.
Yeah.
Good. Please do that, Bill. Don't overdo it, but do it, because that will really help, especially if you can roll your hips forward and keep your vertebrae nice and vertical. That's going to really help ease that stenosis pain, which is good. Okay, the next one, which we've done, a lot of times they use this as a marker. We do some sit and stands. So what we're going to do is you're going to just start sitting on the edge of the seat. You're going to pull your heels behind you a little bit, and you're going to blow out and stand. So I want you to feel what a sit and stand exercise feels like And then I'm going to show you how we're going to do it with the towel roll, and then we're going to do different arm positions to change your center of gravity. So you're going to go like this. Now, if you feel the need to hold on to your legs and push up a little bit, it's okay. So gently, this is first with the hands. So you're going to always remember any exercise that we do, walking, stair climbing, lifting weights, lifting your legs, lifting your arms, you always want to remember to blow and lift. Exhale on exertion. So you're going to lean forward, you're going to blow out and come up. Notice my feet are still square. I'm not like this because that makes your hips fall through, puts a lot of strain on your low back. So you want to go like this. Now, to sit down, I don't want your center of gravity going back. I'm going to turn this to the side so you can see what I mean. I do not want to see this where you're like this and you're falling back diagonally this way. That's really, really dangerous. What I want you to do is make sure the back of your legs are touching the chair for safety. Right here, you're going to take and you're going to lean forward with your hips, and then you're going to lower your knees and come down. And now your center of gravity is coming straight down, and the likelihood of this chair flying off is much less, much safer for you. So now that we've gone from sitting to standing, let's do it again, this time without arms, without pressing off the legs. You're going to lean forward, the heels are going to come back, you're going to blow and lift. Excellent. Lean forward again, lowering the knees and coming down. Pretty simple, right? Okay. Now we're going to put your towel roll between your knees. And here's where we're going to have a little fun. Feet are square. This is where a lot of compensations. If you notice when you did this, a lot of people either did this with their knees, they shifted to the side, they came out. We're going to get rid of all compensations and really get the focal point of this exercise right to the muscles that we want, which is your core, your low back, part of your hips, everything. We're going to make this a hip-driven movement. So now with this here, don't let this fall out. You're going to blow out, lean forward. Good. If you have to and you feel that this is falling, just adjust it. It's okay. And stand like this. And now again, lean forward and come down slow and easy.
That's a good exercise.
Yeah.
Good. And then from here, and again, we have a chair and a towel roll. We don't need fancy equipment. This is everything that you could do right in the comfort of your own home. We're going to do a few more of these. If you're tired, don't do any more. Just watch us. If you have the energy and you feel strong, let's do a few more because I want you to feel the difference, how it is comparative to when you normally get up. So again, blowing and lifting. Holding, doing a breath in, blowing out. And then again, leaning forward at the waist, lowering your knees down slowly. The slower that you can go with all these exercises, the more strength you're going to get. If you just lean back and then kind of try to use momentum to get up, that's not strength. That's cheating. Eventually, I want you to get like this, where you can just go from here slowly, lean forward just a little bit, blow, slow, all the way up like this. And now, sitting down, no plopping at all. Leaning forward, down, coming down like this, and sitting. Okay, everybody good with this? Okay.
This one.
Okay, now we're going to put the towel roll back. We're going to add a little more fun to this. You're going to take your hands, you're going to put it behind your head. You don't have to interlace your fingers. You can put your hands here. Now you're going to, again, same exercise, different body position, opening up your chest, really expanding this, holding this, leaning forward, blowing and coming up. Slowly, all the way up, slow. Opening your chest, breathing in through the nose, out, leaning forward, coming down. Soft, slow. slow, gentle. We're going to do 4 more. Slow and easy. Blow and come up. And down. Slow and easy up. And down. And last but not least, 1 more. Blow and lift. Opening this up, don't have the elbows in here, all the way back. And down. Slow and easy.
That's nice.
Did you feel that? I hear laughing. Is this good?
She's
Okay.
with us, Davis, not at us. With us.
Okay, good, good, good. Okay, how does everybody feel? Okay, the last one that we're going to do is going to require a little bit of wall space. So what we're going to do is, if you have a blank wall, you're going to stand, you're going to square up your feet about a fist width apart. You're going to keep everything on the wall. Your bottom is on the wall, your back is on the wall. A lot of times if you're rounded like this, you'll go on the wall, you'll have to be back like this. Your feet will have to be away from the wall at first. That's okay. Eventually you want to do this. You want to relax everything. Let your weight just fall into your heels. You're going to bring your arms up to shoulder height. You're going to bring them back onto the wall, spreading everything onto the wall. Your neck and shoulders are down and relaxed. Your head is back on the wall. Notice it's not up like this. If you have to do that, move away from the wall a little bit, but eventually you're going to go like this. And you're going to stand in this position, letting everything, thumbs, pinkies, everything on the wall, fingers spread wide, elbows on the wall, and breathe and hold this for 1 minute. You will not believe the amount of muscles that you feel working in this exercise. I call this one the iron cross.
Unapplied.
Then when you're done, you put it down like this, shake it off a little bit, and then you relax. Okay, so that is a brief introduction into the type of pulmonary rehab exercises that I teach that don't require a lot of equipment. They don't require a lot of space. You could, again, you need a wall, you need a chair with no arms, you need a towel roll. I'll quickly show you with weights, if you're going to do, and people use their weights, what I want you to do is, if you're sitting and you're doing these, do them sitting first, and then as you get stronger, you can leaning forward, squaring up your feet. We're going to have the hands this way. This is called the forward curl position. So you're going to blow and come up. And then you're going to breathe in and come down. What I want to show you from the side is this. We don't want any motion this way. It's here, and it's up and down. You're looking down, making sure that your feet are square, ankles below the knees, hips rolled forward, coming up and down. So the 3 positions that we do are forward, hammer, and reverse. So hammer curls are this way, like you're using a hammer. Blowing out on the way up. Breathing in on the way down. Controlling the weights coming down. We just don't want to drop. The slower you can go, the more strength you're going to get out of the exercise. And then last but not least, you turn sideways, you come up this way. Reverse curls, slow, and down. Let's see how slow I'm going. It's very important to maintain this slow pace. Blowing on the way up, holding, and then breathing in and coming down. Okay. That will give you an overall pretty much whole body workout just from this. A group of exercises in my world is called a menu of exercises. I have many menus that are purpose driven, incline improvement menus, sit and stand menus, upper body, lower body, core, gardening menu, golfing menus, all these different menus that we have. It's limitless on what we can do with just a chair, a towel roll, some weights. Another one, if you have it, is I just happen to have a weighted bar, but all you need is a golf club. All you need is a broom handle, anything of a dowel related nature. So one of the things that you're going to do is just start here, go all the way up, and then come all the way down. But since we want to get some chest expansion, you're going to go wider. You're going to roll this back onto your fingers. You're going to go up, but then you're going to come back behind. And this is where you get a lot of chest expansion. Up like this and come back down. Blowing and lifting and back down. So again, this could be a broomstick handle, a mop handle. This could be two vacuum hoses or pipes together. So many different options. You don't need fancy equipment to get strong. You do these exercises alone and you will feel the strength. Any questions?
David, I have to interrupt for 1 second.
Yes, sir.
I've had this overwhelming stream of one word. More. So you've done such an incredible job. And let me ask you a question to help us.
Yes, sir.
Help you. Many people here, I know Shelley Mathis, as an example, is working with you, and other people here have too. If I'm interested in pursuing you to help me with my pulmonary rehab, what steps do I take? How do I go about it? What's the cost of doing it? How do I get engaged?
Excellent. Thank you. That's an excellent question. For the PF Warriors specifically, my daughter, God bless her, she is just an angel. I love her tremendously. She is tech savvy. So what she did for me to prepare for this meeting was she created a way based on what you were talking about and I were talking about last time, Bill. Now we offer two, and let me see, hold on. I want to try, you're going to probably have to help me with this. I'm going to try to share my screen. Hold on. Let me see if I can do this, Bill, and then you tell me if you can see my screen. Okay. Okay.
Bingo.
You
Perfect.
see this?
Perfect.
Okay. So this is our website. Since we teach pulmonary rehab, our website is pulmonaryrehab.com. So we do pulmonary rehab, lung cancer rehab, they're all right down here. Posture therapy. We have Boost, which is a medically supervised exercise program for adults, Boost Teen, and there's one more over here, which is Boost Junior. Okay. So if you go to pulmonaryrehab.com, you go on the homepage and you click right on here where it says, click to learn more and sign up for personal or group classes for a free Zoom consultation. So anybody, if you're listening today and you want a free Zoom consultation, you want to know what I can do to help you, you just click on, so you click on this, it will open up this window. And right here, can you see this, Bill?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you see that, Bill?
Perfect. Perfect, David.
Okay, great. So we have two types of classes to help you breathe better, get stronger, and live longer. We have just introduced this morning a group Zoom exercise class. So we do those on Friday mornings. So we're going to do Friday mornings at 10 and also Friday afternoons, because remember how I said before, some people have more energy in the morning than the afternoon and vice versa. Then we're going to do that. So if you click on either of these, it will open up a booking page. You could register. The cost is $25 USD per class. It's a 30-minute class. And trust me, you're not going to want more than 30 minutes when we do these types of exercises. You're going to really feel it. If you want a free Zoom consultation, you go right to here and you click on this link, and that'll open Calendly, and you can schedule a free 15-minute Zoom video call with me. And if you want to work directly one-on-one, because you really want my individualized attention to walk you through each exercise, here's the prices here for all those. And then underneath is some of the equipment that you may need to get the most out of your sessions. A pulse ox, your oxygen if you're prescribed it, a chair with no arms, your towel roll, dumbbells, weights, water bottles, soup cans, whatever you have, an exercise bar, cane, broom, handle, golf club, empty wall space. One of the things that we do too is a lot of floor exercises. So if you can, interestingly enough, I learned, I love learning things. I learned never ask someone, can you get down on the floor? Because guess what? Everyone with gravity can fall down onto the floor. The important question is, can you get back up off the floor? Because I had quite a few people get down and could not get back up 20 years ago when I first started. So I learned very quickly, can you get up off the floor? And if you can, the floor exercises that we do are amazing. They will open up your chest. You will feel your whole body just conform to the flatness of the floor. And how you know is you're going to lay down and you're going to have to put a pillow under or a towel or something underneath your head because you just can't get your head back onto the floor. By the end of the session, most people are down like this and their head's back and their arms are out, palms up, and their head is actually touching the floor. So it opens up everything.
Well, David, I'm kind of behind the scenes. I'm texting back and forth with Shelley. We're going to put our heads together, and I'm going to make a promise right now to this group. We will create for David in his program a scholarship program for PF warriors that want to attend your group classes. And we'll have that ready to announce sometime this next week. But we think so much of what you do. We know from experience with others how much you've helped us in our community. We like more of our members to take advantage of your program. And we will put that together. We'll send an announcement out sometime during this next week to those people on this call, not to our general membership, but to you that are here today showing your support to us. We're going to show our support to you. We will create a scholarship program because, David, you really do so much for us. We want to say thank you.
Thank you. It is, believe me, Bill, I'm telling you, I'm so grateful for the opportunity. Every day I wake up and all I want to do is try to figure out how I can help people and how to make their lives better. And this forum has just been a godsend because it really makes me appreciate so much the community that there is with this. And I just love it so much. It's so good. And I want to help everybody, anybody, like I said, at any time. I'm going to put up my contact information if I can, Bill.
Sure.
Let me do this and let me share my screen.
Never forget, David, you are in fact a PF warrior. I mean, you're one of us. So
exactly. So can you see that? Is that okay?
Perfect.
Excellent. So if you need to get a hold of me via email, it's info@pulmonaryrehab.com. That's my phone number. The website is pulmonaryrehab.com. And then we're good. Whatever questions, concerns, anything that you have, I would definitely say to get in touch with your doctors and ask them what they would like you to have in terms of your oxygen level and your heart rate. Also, the amount of oxygen that you're using, because that's also critical in what we're doing. If you go to our YouTube channel, I did a video a year or two ago, and it was about people getting water in their oxygen tubing. So I did a video, and all of a sudden, I don't know how many tens of thousands of views and discussion this got. And it was simple, just a tiny little water trap that you put in, but where you put it is very important. You put it as close to your nasal cannula as you can. And that's what we want. So anything, let's open it up to questions. If there's anything that anybody has a question regarding, I would love the opportunity to try to answer it.
Well, Nick Bauer just dropped me a note. He wants to ask you a question or speak for 1 second. So Nick, unmute yourself, please, and you're on.
Hi, Bill. Good afternoon. Firstly, referring back to what you said earlier about these little groups you're putting together to help the warriors, my word, I'm so grateful. I found the warriors through my, please don't shout at me if you're not a fan, but I found the warriors through my love of Dallas. I've made several trips to Dallas as a huge Dallas Cowboys fan, as you may see behind me, my Bob Lilly shirt on the wall. So I found you through this. And then David, you know what this means now. I am knackered. Okay. So David's been working with me since May, twice a week. He works me hard. I'm not paying him for his ravishing good looks, apparently. But David's words, not mine. David, I'm going to say this publicly now, although I struggle every day, I genuinely don't know, and I'll try not to get tearful, but I genuinely don't know where I would be without what you do for me twice a week, along with all the other help I get from my medics and my osteopath. I'm so grateful. So if you can afford to use David, or you can do what Bill's suggesting, I might even join that and have a third session, take half an hour from work because I work from home. But firstly, Bill, to you and your team, thank you for letting me be part of your wonderful group, because without that, I wouldn't have met David. And I'm going to shut up now. Thank you so much. And I'm from England, by the way, if you didn't know that.
We'd have never guessed. We'd have never guessed.
Thank you so much for the kind words, Nick.
I think Linda had another question. Linda, you're very prolific this morning with questions and discussions.
I know.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Linda.
You woke up my brain with all of this oxygen going to it. When I first went to pulmonary rehab, I went to one that had been in business for a long time. And they showed us how, when you're laying on the ground, because it is important to do exercises on the ground, you have your chair next to you. And they showed us how to turn over in a certain way and lift ourselves back up off the ground using the chair. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you've ever done that, because it enabled me, as an example, to be able to do exercises on the ground.
Absolutely. That's an excellent question. One of the things I work specifically, especially with the one-on-one patients, because it's hard to do it in a group, is if, God forbid, you fell on the floor, how do you get up? And we go through a whole menu of getting up off the floor. One, doing your breathing so you can calm down and relax. And that way you can really focus your thoughts. Then it's how to get over. And then we do a lot of exercise, because when you're on the floor and you're on your back, let's say, and you have to roll, there's a tremendous amount of energy expenditure to do that. So we work on the muscles, and then a lot of wall push-ups, because when you want to push yourself up and then you want to crawl over to the chair, like Linda was saying, and then get yourself up. So a lot of wall push-ups and things we do with that too. So that's an excellent question.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else?
Yeah, I have one question, Vic and David.
Yes.
You had mentioned early on about the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide and the need to breathe slowly, which is, I understand very well. But you also said if you breathe deeply, you cough. It's really an interrelated issue. I think I know why we cough, but shouldn't there be some exercises to get rid of that cough so that you can breathe deeply? Because we also taught to take deep breaths so we get more of the air sacs open, the alveoli.
Yes. Well, the problem is specifically with PF, because of scarring and because of the restrictive component of PF specifically, you have no problem getting rid of the air. You know, the difference between, let's say, COPD and pulmonary fibrosis, if this is your lung expansion, regular lungs, let's say, have 100 rubber bands here through elastic recoil. So you breathe in, it opens like this, and then just through the rubber bands, they just get pulled closed.
Yeah.
In COPD, they have much less than that. Let's say they have 20 or 50 rubber bands. So they breathe in and all that air is trapped in there. The problem with PF is they have 500 rubber bands. So when you breathe in like this, they close. So there's a certain amount of scarring and restrictive component that makes it more challenging to get in and to get out. So most PF people have not a problem getting rid of the air. They have a problem getting the air in.
Yeah. My question is really a little bit more than that. Maybe I didn't articulate it very well. I've had a lung transplant, and normally you have about 3.3. The capacity of a lung is about 3 liters, and mine's only 1.2, and it degraded suddenly. And I'm trying to bring it up with exercises. And one of the exercises they preach, the pulmonologists preach, is deep breathing. However, as you pointed out, when you do deep breathing, you tend to cough, even with new lungs. You see what I'm saying? So I was wondering if there's any exercises that helps you expand your lung capacity.
Yes, but also coinciding with that is I would focus more on diaphragmatic strengthening.
Yes.
So that way, if we can focus on, and I have a whole menu that's created because it's a posterior lateral breathing that I teach.
Yes.
And that's very important because then if we can actually improve the musculature of the chest and the diaphragms, that will allow you to optimize the breath coming in.
I understand. Okay, good. Very good.
So that will help.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
If you want to watch for our contest that comes up, even you may win a series of lessons with David on a one-to-one basis. So
wonderful.
I'd love to see that take place.
Excellent.
I've got a question from the UK.
Yes.
Hello, you can hear me, David?
Hello, I can hear you. I can't see you, but I can hear you.
I knew Clive couldn't keep quiet. I knew it.
Well, I'm sorry, but here we are in the UK. Bill, thanks for the invite. Very, very good. Very informative. David, fantastic. But one question I have to ask is, whilst we were doing the rolled up towel exercise, the gripping between the knees, I started trembling. Does that mean I'm doing it too much?
No, that means you're waking up muscles that you haven't used in a long time, sir. This is good.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
This is
absolutely
good.
Brilliant what you're doing.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. I love that.
Clive, however, David, I always hear Clive, Sue, can you speak?
Yes, I can actually, yes.
Hello, Sue.
Hi,
Hello.
yes. Occasionally I do manage to get a word in, yes.
You know what? That brings up a very interesting point. Clive, if you're doing the exercises, Sue, join him. Anybody who's doing it, turn it into an awesome little couples fun thing that you can do together. Do it with members of your family. Get together and do it. That if you can have a buddy system like that, you can be really a team and doing this together.
Pat
help anybody.
Suggested we're going to start doing it tonight. We'll make it part of our wine time every night.
I love that. I love that.
We run a support group here in England, and we have around about 50 members that come. Obviously, we're doing Zoom meetings at the moment, but the information you've passed over, we're going to share it with those, of course, and they're all in different stages of PF.
Yeah.
I mean, I consider myself relatively fit for a PF sufferer, and I found, I found them quite mild today that we were doing until we got to the squeezing the towel bit, and like you said, the trembling. I thought I had all my muscles trained, but obviously not.
No. Well, and later on, do the Iron Cross, and that'll really open your eyes.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question, David, as well?
Of course.
If you've got costochondritis, which my daughter has, are those exercises good to do if you've got that? Because of the stretching, is it going to aggravate it a little?
It depends on how recently that appeared. If it's relatively recently,
let me just move out.
Then you may want to let the inflammation reduce. But if she's had it chronically for a while and it's still extremely tight, then that will help. Again, costochondritis is something that's very hard to pinpoint and very hard to diagnose. And it's transient. So it comes and it goes and it comes and it goes. She could do them, but she has to just go very slowly in between each one.
Yeah. Okay.
But again, I would always check with the doctor first, always check because they know where they are.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks very
You're
much.
very welcome. Go.
Thank
If
you.
you need anything, please just let me know.
Will
Thank
do.
you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, David, we're going to wrap up. You've been here very graciously giving us a little extra time, which I know we all appreciate. Watch for our coming contest, which Shelley and I will start putting together on Monday, because we both deserve a weekend, Shelley. And it's going to be fun and exciting. And you just did a great presentation. This will be on our website in a few days, maybe about Wednesday or Thursday. If you remember, we'll have that, plus we have maybe 200 other videos that we have online now of meetings and such, and you're all welcome to those. So again, David, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being a warrior.
Thank you.
And thank you all for being here
you.
as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Everyone, God bless you all. You're all so awesome. I'm so grateful to have this opportunity to help you. If anybody needs anything, please just reach out to me. Phone, email, whatever you need. Do the 15-minute Zoom consultation. It's not going to cost you anything, and I don't think I've ever spent 15 minutes. We always go way longer than that because I can't help myself to want to help people. So whatever you need. And Bill, thank you so much. Shelley, thank you so much. I really appreciate the support, and what you two do is, God bless you. I'm telling you, the PF Warriors are so lucky to have you. I wish every other pulmonary condition had two of you, because it's amazing. So God bless everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. And if you need anything, please let me know. Okay.
Thank you, David.